all for being here. It's been about 2 weeks, 2 weeks of a search. I met with the team 2 weeks ago in the morning in their locker room and told them I had this thing. And I'm glad to say that I got it, right? I got it right. I really believe that. So I'm thrilled to be here. I do want to do a couple quick thank yous before I introduce Coach. I want to thank Greg and Renata Crawford for all their support of athletics and Greg's involvement in this process as well. He was very instrumental in meeting with Coach, and that was a great piece of the puzzle for us. My wife is not here, but I want to thank her because for the last 2 weeks she had to do double duty on kids' baseball practices because I was busy out of town and traveling and visiting people. So I want to thank her for that. I want to thank Jude, who's been with me on a lot of those interviews and days of travel and all the work that he did as well. Liz Bath did a lot for us behind the scenes, and like she always does. I want to thank her for everything. I want to thank Jenny Gilbert for her involvement as SWA in the interview process and everything that she did for us. Ron Scott, same thing. Thank you, our faculty rep, for all your work on the committee, helping interview and get to where we are. I want to thank Deb as well. I know he ran stuff by you. I know that now, so it's all good. I appreciate Deb. Yeah, there you go. I appreciate your involvement. I saw them all this morning coming over here to set up. I just got to say thanks to our marketing staff, the SIDs, our broadcast crew, the equipment room. You all do a great job, and you make this place special, and I want to thank all of you for your work on it. And my last thank you, so I can get moving here, I got to thank the student athletes, our women's basketball program. You guys are a resilient bunch. I told you I love you, and I do. I appreciate everything you guys do for this institution, and you guys mean a lot to me and to this department. So thank you for all that you've done the last 3-4 years, each of you. Appreciate you. On to Coach. So DeUnna was really someone I looked at from the beginning of the process. I'm just going to tell you a really quick story and then introduce her. It's really, in this 2 weeks, it's been a tapestry of things kind of woven together about her that made her stand out. I would say that I saw them play here earlier in the year, obviously, on our schedule. I certainly liked a lot of what they did, and I also noticed the roster had a lot of Ohio kids on it, so I was like, well, they must have something good in terms of how they look at Ohio and what they do. But more importantly, I got some different communications from people. I got an email from Heather Cusick, who's one of the all-time leading scorers here at Miami, who played high school in Kokomo, who I know Coach watched play and admired, and she spoke real highly of her as a person and her family as well. And so that was a really nice kind of first communication. And I talked to Kurt Miller, who was coach at Bowling Green when I worked at Bowling Green, and he tried to recruit DeUnna to Bowling Green. She kind of says now maybe she should have gone, but yeah, well, I won't say that to the people back at Richmond, but she was a great player, and Kurt told me a lot about her as a player and a competitor. I talked to some people at Richmond who coached her, who had really good things to say about her time there and kind of what she's gone on to do since then. And so when you really start weaving all those things together, I started getting a picture of somebody who's hungry, driven, wants to win, but most importantly is just a great person and treats people the right way. And that was important. I think that's everything we were looking for. And I did spend some time with Savannah. Savannah came and saw me on behalf of the team and kind of talked about what was important from their perspective. And my goal was to deliver on that, and I feel really good about where we landed. So it was all those phone calls, emails, communications led us to get a chance to visit a little closer. And despite some travel issues on her interview, she did a great job and knocked it out of the park. And we're just thrilled to have her back here. And you know, the fact that she's been able to accomplish all that she did at High Point as a head coach, 7 seasons, 3 20-plus win seasons, coached a couple Conference Players of the Year. Obviously, she knows how to motivate people to achieve great things, and that's what we strive to do here every day with our Graduating Champions mission. But the thing that sold me more than any other that I'm going to finish with is that she told me about this on the interview, and I kind of followed up a little bit just to verify, but she talked about at the Final Four, when she goes every year, she gets together a group of coaches and just talks X's and O's and talks strategy and talks about what makes your program better, what kinds of things do you guys do. And I just thought that was really, really interesting to hear her tell me about that, because most of the times when I see coaches at Final Fours, they're finding out what restaurant they're going to or where they're meeting later, you know, to do something. But she's talking about getting coaches together to talk strategy and get better and learn. And so I thought that kind of caught my attention. So I asked her kind of, well, what coaches come to that? And she gave me a couple. So I started calling people I know, and I'm like, have you gone to this thing at the Final Four she does? And Lindsay Gottlieb, who's the coach at Cal right now, she said, David, it's the best thing that happens at the Women's Final Four is Coach Hendrix's sessions. And we all go, and it's grown immensely, and there's more coaches doing it. And that really hit home to me, that this is someone who works at her craft and wants to be better and wants to make student athletes' experiences better. So that really sold me at the end of the day, and I'm thrilled and honored to be able to bring DeUnna Hendrix here to Miami to be our next women's basketball coach. So with that, I'm going to bring her up and let her take the floor.
Come up here.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. I really appreciate you guys coming out. It is an exciting time for Miami basketball, and I am so grateful and honored to be here and to lead this group. I had the opportunity to meet them just a couple minutes ago, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So I'm going to thank them first, just thank them in advance for accepting me and being open to this, because I know it's a hard process. But I think we're going to learn to love each other very quickly and care about each other very quickly. So I want to thank you guys first, because right now it's about you guys. I'll be remiss if I did not thank High Point University, Dr. Quabain, Dan Hauser, Craig Kylitz, and the HPU family for the last 8 years, because we've definitely had a journey, and they've supported me and cared for me along the way, and I owe those guys. I'll be forever indebted to High Point. That being said, I'd like to thank Miami University and President Crawford, David Saylor, and the staff for this amazing opportunity. I can't talk about how grateful I am to get back to my mom, who's 2 hours from me, and an hour and a half away from my sister. So it's been a long time since I've been in the Midwest. I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity. I would like to publicly thank Megan Duffy for just laying the foundation and instilling the belief, because that's not an easy thing to do. You know, so instilling the belief that, yes, you can compete for championships, and yes, we will, and that's to come, and use that momentum to propel us forward. So I have to thank Megan. Lastly, I'd like to thank my family, just because this business is crazy, and they've sort of stuck with me throughout it all. So there's a lot of sacrifice, obviously, amidst it, and they've been really supportive along the way. And when I said I was coming home, obviously they got really excited about it, as did I. But it's just the opportunity to be able to finally have them watch me do this thing and be in the midst of it all, so that they can actually understand a little bit of it. It will be pretty amazing. So I can talk all day about what we're going to do as a basketball program and how we're going to play, and we'll get all into that, I'm sure. But I think what you guys need to know, what I'll bring, is we're going to play really, really hard. We're going to love really, really hard. That's loving ourselves, loving the community, loving the program, and being about Miami University. But I also think we're going to serve with humble hearts and serve the community, serve one another, and just be a servant leader in every sense of the word. And then we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So we're going to work really, really hard, but I really hope that they don't know how hard they're working, because it's so fun. So a lot of energy. Hopefully you all come out and really support us and support what they're doing. But I'm really appreciative of all of this and the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Members of the media, if you have questions, raise your hand. We'll get you a mic, and also just identify yourself so that Coach knows who you are.
No. No, you just never know who's watching, you know? And so I think, obviously, my feet are where they're planted, and I was with High Point University at that point, you know? So it was really about beating you all as much as we could, but that just didn't happen. However, no, I did not ever imagine. Obviously, Megan Duffy did great things here, and her time was obviously short.
Greg Billing, Dayton Daily News.
Hey, Greg.
Hi. Can you tell me more about these Final Four sessions?
Yeah, I would love to. So, Final Four. So, how it started about 4 years ago, and basically, I researched the top 25 mid-majors in the country, and I called anybody from director of ops on their staff to their head coaches. I mean, it could have been anybody within their program, and really try to figure out what were you guys doing that was different. You know, like how from travel to nutrition to whatever be the case, what is it? So I probably had about 15 coaches that first year that came that first year 4 years ago, and now it's grown. So now it's just who are the names in the business right now. So Coach Gottlieb was there. Susie Gardner at Mercer was there this past year. I mean, Robin Freilich, sorry guys, in league, she came. You know, so it ended up being about 30 people, 30 coaches this year. But that's still the same intention. Like, what are you guys doing that's so different? How are you guys out there so much?
Yeah. Every coach comes in saying that they want to win a MAC championship.
That's right. I'm going to say the same thing.
Is there anything else or something that you think that you can bring to the table?
Yeah, I think the MAC championship's a byproduct. You know, it's going to come. We're going to have all conference players. All that's going to come because I know what we are going to do is learn how to be servant. And I think anytime that you work really hard to serve others, it becomes all of a sudden you're looking at yourself like maybe I did accomplish something. And so I think, yeah, we can talk about MAC championships and all conference everything, but at the end of the day, we got to love really, really hard and care really, really hard first. And obviously those things are intangibles, but really, really important. Who you got?
Hey, Coach.
Girl.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Fox 19, Lexi Ross.
Yeah.
You talked with your athletes earlier today. What are some specific things you mentioned to them?
That we haven't talked about anything in depth. Obviously, I've watched film on these guys. We played them. I could probably tell you their skill set and get into that. But at the end of the day, we have about 3 weeks to get to know one another. This transition is hard, and I don't think people understand just how hard it is. But I'm a stranger right now. Like, they're looking at me. I don't know who you are. Well, I don't know who y'all are either. So we got to do that first. So the next 3 weeks, that's what we're going to be focused on. And quite honestly, I don't even know if we'll touch the court until we do that.
Very good.
My man, yes. What you got?
Again, coming from a smaller school now in the Midwest, you had a lot of players on your last roster from Ohio. Are you going to take any different approaches in terms of recruiting?
Obviously, you know, I got to check out the league and see what the competition is. I think you always have to do that. But we've done really well in the Midwest. You know, I think the contacts are there. It's just now I'm able to sell what Miami has done in the past couple of years. I'm able to sell the MAC conference, which obviously is in my opinion, the best mid-major conference in the nation. And on top of playing really competitive against the Power Five. So I think I'm able to sell some different things to some kids right now that obviously was different in the Big South.
And then finally, have you put any thought into who you want to add to your staff?
Yeah, no, I haven't touched it yet. I do have one of my assistants here who's going to make the trip with me, Haley Yan. Everybody say hi to Haley. Can we welcome Haley, please? She's dealt with me for 4 years. She actually got promoted from our director of ops her first year and has been my assistant for 3 years, so she'll make that trip for sure. Anything else? What you got?
Very good. All right, once again, if anybody needs David one-on-one, players are available as well. Just let us know. We're happy to help.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you.